Tuberculosis mostly affects the lungs, and it's transmitted through the air. So if I have tuberculosis and I cough in your face, you might be infected with tuberculosis. Before we had new drugs, there was an 80% chance of death over 5 years in patients with extensively drug-resistant TB.
There was almost nothing we could do for these cases.
Developing a drug for TB is not necessarily a profitable venture. The costs are very high, and the profit to be made is quite low because the people who need the drugs can't usually pay for them, and the people who have the money don't need them.
Task just happened because we were approached by a drug company that had discovered a new potential tuberculosis drug, and they were looking around for people who could help them test it. We here were the only ones that had the capacity to actually do this.
We are currently doing a study where we're treating patients with XDR-TB with a novel combination of 3 drugs for 6 months. Previously, 80% of XDR patients would die. Now 80% of XDR patients get cured.
We have to treat tuberculosis always with at least 3 drugs because we know that the bacteria find a way to
Mechai Viravaidya is a politician and activist in Thailand who's improved the lives of millions with groundbreaking family planning and HIV prevention programs. Thanks to his innovative efforts to promote contraception, he's best known by his nickname, Mr. Condom.
My name is Mechai Viravaidya. 50 years ago, I realized that Thailand needed to reduce its population growth. I introduced a system of community-based distribution of contraceptives to supply pills and condoms to the villages. So that was the beginning. And luckily, after about 22 years, we were able to bring down the population growth rate from 7 children per family to under 2. Then soon after that, HIV hit Thailand in the mid-1980s. People didn't know very much about it, and the government was concerned that if we talked about it, it would drive away tourism. We had to let the public understand about HIV, what HIV was, how did you get it, and how do you not get it. Eventually, we got a system passed, educated the Thai public, we trained everybody. We used the condom to promote what family planning is supposed to be, and it generated interest. You could use it as a balloon, and it made people laugh. I started giving out condoms to help to spread the message. So we used every method we could, and we got school children to have relay races with condoms, condom blowing championships, so they weren't embarrassed by the condoms. And that's the issue, that they could then talk about other aspects of family planning. Soon after the year 2000, the United Nations said that there was a decline in 90% of new infections during that period. 8 million people had been prevented from being infected. One columnist wrote a story, they call it the Mechai story. We will now call the condom by its name, Mechai. And now it is officially registered as a proper name for condoms. We have to wake up again to educate the public. The risk is now with the younger generation. The numbers are far lower, but the risk is still there.
My name is Mandy Manning, and I teach English language learners in the Newcomer Center at Ferris High School. It's a specialized English language development program for brand new immigrant and refugee students who are of high school age. All of the students who come into my class are not only brand new to our nation, but they also don't yet speak English. I can't teach them all of the language that they need in order to be successful, but I can ease the transition so that when they go on to mainstream classes, they're more confident, they're brave, they are willing to take risks.
And so it's quite a variety of languages?
We serve 77 languages here in Spokane.
Oh, wow. And some of these kids must be dealing with a lot of uncertainty.
I would say 80% of my students are refugee students. So they have gone through a great deal of trauma before arriving here. But they're so excited to be at school. It's a moment in their day where they know what is expected. It's a brand new experience for them going to school in the United States. They do have days where they're struggling emotionally with culture shock or with post-traumatic stress.
Must be tough.
To come to a new place and to be welcomed with open arms and to know that people want you there, that is going to make a tremendous difference in how they interact in their new community, how they acclimate, how they move forward in life. Because we have the public school system that's intended to serve all students, it's there for them.
If you look at education overall, do you feel like we're getting better? What's your thinking on what direction we should go?
I really do think that our school system, at its heart, is doing what's best for kids. At Ferris, we are flexible and we're open to listening to new ideas and trying new things in order to meet the needs of the kids. Teachers have to feel like they can have a voice. And at Ferris, we do. We feel like we have a voice. It's about building a relationship. We're partners, so let's do this together.
You know, it's really amazing what you do.